This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 61. Is it possible to triple your average sale? Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to build a better real estate agent business, I've created a free jumpstart course or a plan for you over at freeagentgift.com. Now, again, whether you are a rookie or a veteran in the real estate agency business, it's very important to have a wireframe for what to do for planning. Get over there. It's free. All right. In this episode, what I want to cover is this question: is it possible to triple your average sale? Now, if you know me at all, I hate hyperbole. I cannot stand in this industry and any other small business all this hyperbole and, quite frankly, lies about how people do. It seems to become commonplace now that everybody just lies about what their gross commission income is or how many transactions they have, as if that benefits anybody, them or the people that they're sharing with. I just never understood that. It's just so much better to be real. Just get real about this. So you notice that in all my body of work that's out there in the public, you don't see me dealing with testimonials that are all hyperbolic at all. And I'm cautious in general to use testimonials because, look, here's the way that I see it. No matter whether we're serving at the Griffin Realty Group, a buyer, a seller, or an agent, or here at the Realty Classroom, we're serving agents. I just want everybody to understand the plan is for you. So I don't really care what somebody else does. I care what you do. Now, having said that, it is okay to go out there when you know somebody is real and share their story with you. So because I have the benefit of coaching some top producers, and some of them for a long time, I know who's honest. And so when I bring up a story like this, I'm going to root it in some honest body of work done by one of our mastermind members by the name of Lee. And Lee's been at this for quite some time and just a great guy and very diligent in his pursuit. And so the other day when we were going through this whole concept of planning, oftentimes what the mastermind members will do to support each other, we'll talk about their successes. And almost in a way that they're surprised that this whole planning process actually works. So Lee was talking about it, and another one of our mastermind members, Voltaire, said, can you have him come on and explain that? And I said, absolutely, I would. And these two guys are really, top producers and have a lot of great women in there too. One of them, Gail, she's as equally as planned out as Lee, but this is about Lee today. And so I want to talk about what I understand is happening here. Now, number one point was, I want you to get that. I share testimonials with caution. And let me just say it this way. What I'm going to talk about here has nothing to do with how you can do. I'm not going to make any kind of claim that just because you listen to this podcast, somehow you're going to get the same result as me or anybody else. And if you have to really, if you really have to have that disclaimer, you better check yourself. But I'm going to give it to you. I'm telling you somebody else's story for the sake of telling you what basic plan I share with you that can help you move in a more positive direction. The results that you achieve from any plan or any action that you take is directly in proportion to your understanding of it, your stick-to-itiveness, and how all that happens afterwards. So remember that no matter whether it's me or anybody, that cautionary tale is there. Don't sit there and say, I'm going to do this, and you do it halfway or not even, and then you're mad it didn't work out for you. It's on us. You know what I say. Nobody's coming for us, okay? So here we go. So how did Lee go did Lee go and triple his sale price? And the answer is yes, he did. So from 3 years ago to this past year, he tripled his average sale price. Okay. So he was doing a lot of business, and he's located in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And he was doing a lot of business that, I guess, centered around the words distress sales and entry level. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's where he made the cognizant decision with his marketing, or not so cognizant, meaning he wasn't really fully aware of what he was doing. Why? No marketing plan. So if you go back to the last, and first of all of the work here is talking about planning, and not big in-depth stuff, but awareness that you need a plan and it needs to be simple to start or you'll drown with it. So it starts with this manager's marketing plan. If you go back one episode here, you're going to hear me talk about your perspective is small, and certainly it's small because you don't have a manager's perspective. See, the manager's perspective is a little bit bigger. They get up above the business and they see it in its entirety. Then they go into a chunk of it. So in this case, Lee and I, as I was guiding him through this 3 years ago to now, we dove into his marketing plan, because that's the first big chunk on this assembly line of manufacturing relationships that yield a real estate transaction. So we jumped in there and we looked at it. And I just made him aware of this. And again, being a big fan of Dan Kennedy's simplicity, in his plan, he talks about a triangle where the very first part of it is market. Hello, where are they? Where are these people that you're going to go after? You want to do real estate agency in an area, and most of you are just haphazardly saying, well, I'll go anywhere for sale. I get it. I've said this 1,000 times. I get it. But that's not okay when it comes to making planned decisions about marketing. You must sit still. Yes, he said it. Sit still and plan this out. In an ideal situation, is it near your office? Is it close by? Do you live there? Make the bold enough decision to say, I would prefer to market into this area. Now, in Lee's case, using this as the anecdote today, he was very much outside of, I think he said North Potomac was one of the areas he was covering, when the truth is he would have rather been right in Bethesda where he lived, and then Potomac itself. So there was just really not some major shift in where they were or his decision to market into these areas. He just had to look there. Now, the next exercise in that whole marketing plan that I have everybody go through, and you should do the same, is then I said, hey, now go into the multiple listing service. And in this case, I think it's North Potomac, so I'm just going to run with it. I said, go in there and look at last year what the average sale price was in all of North Potomac, and then go into Bethesda and look at that. Well, guess what? It wasn't triple, but it was definitely nearly double. I'm talking about just the average sale price. So here we are fretting what type of business we're doing, and we don't like it. And all we had to do is just do one little simple exercise. We're paying for access to MLS. It's loaded with statistics. And all he did was look at the average sale price in one place versus the next. And it was more than double. Okay. Wasn't triple, but it was more than double. So now all of a sudden we have this very simplistic look at it that says, well, wait a minute. Why wouldn't I market to get the average sale anyway? Buyers and sellers at this average versus this. So is it just a matter of moving some marketing principles over to this new area? Absolutely, yes. It's that simple. If you know some of the principles in marketing that work in one area, well, why is there a huge difference in the other? And I know why this happens. I'm going to get into this concept about luxury. A lot of you immediately, if you've never lived a luxurious lifestyle, or you haven't owned high-end homes or cars or watches or dresses, whatever, you create this perception in your head that, oh, all those people with money, they're snooty and they look down the end. No, they don't. No, they don't. There are difficult people at every single price range out there, okay? They're just people. That's what they're called, people. So stop giving yourself some bizarre dialogue that takes you away from the business logic, and humor me. Just go through the exercise to begin with. So we started there with this new managed marketing plan, and all of a sudden, I think Lee's had a lot of light bulbs and wiring over the last 3 years, but he looks at this thing and he says, my gosh, what am I doing? And I said, yes, hello, what are we all doing? I was making the same mistake in my primary market on Cape Cod for years. And immediately when we started to focus on Boston, my brother and I really said, you need to go at least average and above from the beginning when you're marketing, right? Why not? You're trying to build a viable agency business here, whether you're the agent, the broker, the team owner, whatever. This is a very important start. So that manager's marketing plan, meaning I have a perspective of what to do now, was there. And really, that's the next point here, is that the first step is awareness of where the money is. You know me, I'm not thrilled about talking about money, but this is a business and we need to. So there it is. And I say not thrilled about it. I don't want to always make it about the money chase because we kind of drift away from the fact that we're in the service business and you better be really good at that regardless of what price somebody's at. Having said that, you have to be aware, where are things transacting and at what average price? And why average? Why is that so immediately important to discuss when it comes to marketing? Because it's like a bell curve, right? The majority of the action is at that average price. That's why it's average. And again, if you have a strange market like Cape Cod where it has tons of luxury and that averages it way up with a couple of behemoth type of trades every year, well, then look to the middle number or the median. So you have the mean or the average and the median or the middle number. You take a look in and around there, and you want to build your marketing plan around that middle number and up, and slightly below is okay. If the meat of the market is really turning there and you have cash flow that you want to pay attention to while you're building more towards luxury, no problem there. But I would caution you, unless you are working with investors and people that can handle fixer-uppers or challenging product, if you start to cheat towards that lower end, all this distress sale, this foreclosure, you really have to love that. You have to be down there and you have to be thinking that you're going to be in the volume business and you love it and that's where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with it. I did it for years and I enjoyed it. But then I was very much interested in something very different as time went on, and that was a better business. Psst. You all should be leaning in on that. Build a better business, right? I say it in the opening every time to this podcast. So now the awareness of, hey, there's the money over there in Lee's case in Bethesda, and the average is $750. I am now programming the brain or the subconscious, and I am the entrepreneur, the manager, and the person who has to tactically go get it. All those three people that Michael Gerber talks about in the E-Myth. Now all of a sudden the brain is triggered to pay attention to that. See, you will focus on, right? Whatever you focus on, you will expand all the resources to go after that thing. So if you're focused on a lower end, all your resources are coming and your decisions are being made mostly haphazardly to pursue that with certain assets like websites and ads and marketing. All the marketing assets or the mediums we choose change. But once you become aware over here, you make different decisions. So thinking back to this mastermind discussion, then we go through the rest of this idea. Okay, we know where they are. But now we have to get into this message. That's part 2. So market, where they are and where that money is, and message. What do you say to these people over in Bethesda at $750? Do you say something differently? Do they have different circumstances? Well, here's where I said no to start, because what I said is, look, there's expireds, for example. And by the way, this changed Lee's viewpoint on buyers versus sellers because he was really just, using IDX website platforms to go after these buyers at the lower end. And now all of a sudden you're looking at $750 and you're saying, well, number one, I should have been balanced over here anyway, getting more listings. But now that I'm moving over here, I'm going right after these listings. So, and again, cautionary tale here too. So I give you the full insight. I didn't tell Lee, hey, go get rid of your IDX website and stop doing that. I said, think about it. So what the manager brain said is, you know what? I'm going to cut back and even stop some of the ad spend there, and I pull it over here to Bethesda, and I'm going to go after expireds who are $750 and above. And again, they lowered a little bit. I believe it was more like $500 and above. They started to go after those folks. But think about what I'm about to say here. Over here in North Potomac, where he was hitting these distress sales, his average was about 300 and change. I don't know the exact number, but 300 and change on the low end. Now he comes over here and he begins to look at expireds, and his bottom number is 500. Now think about this for a second. Think about the math and how stunningly easy it was to at least become aware that this is possible. Remember, the question here that I posed at the beginning, is it possible to triple your average sale? Well, absolutely. Done deal already. Once he went into MLS and saw that was happening, there's no doubt about it. There's no argument. How? Yes, big deal, right? How are we going to execute this plan? Is he going to stick with it? What adjustments? We could go on and on about that, but the question was to just challenge your thinking. Is this even possible? I'm already there, okay? But let me lean in a little bit further here. So now, once we started to look at that, I said, wow, think about that, Lee. That $500,000 sale, which is not even at the average, is $200,000 above your $300,000 plus or minus average in North Potomac that you've been focused on. That's a 67% increase in the value of the property, and let's just hold all other things steady. Let's presume he can continuously get a commission rate that's the same. My goodness, a 66% increase. And I don't even have him talking about the average price of $750. I'm talking about $500. Simple math, folks. No rocket science there. I'm sure you learned that math somewhere about the 5th grade. That just works. So that should be enough incentive to get excited to go after that type of business. But now the next point, and Lee really clarified this, and obviously this is my life's passion, to get in between your ears and help you think at a higher level, But there's one key little mindset trigger that I really put inside the heads of my clients at the consulting level like Lee. Why not me? You have to ask yourself, if it's possible, if the math is right there and it says it's possible, why not me? Now, I know there are a lot of excuses you'll give yourself as to why not you. I know you will. And you will say because of your background, because of the brokerage you're at, they don't allow you to do this, because of the circumstances. But I don't have 750 averages. So what? That's not the point. What if you're at 100? Could you go to 300? Look and ask, could you double? Could you go up by 25%? Could you change your life for the better? Whatever the incremental increase is to be better off, that's my goal, to help you get there with the thinking. But you must put in big, bold letters on the mirror where you wash your face in the morning, right? Why not me? If it's happening out there in the marketplace, why can't I get my piece of the pie? And you can. And that's what Lee really leaned in on when he was sharing with Voltaire. He said, look, man, at the end of the day, I just keep asking myself and his trusted sidekick, Robin, they are awesome together. Why not us? Why not me? It's a rally cry every time they get up, right? Now, lastly, I want to leave you with this. I'm talking about something that somebody was patient with, and it's been a lot longer than 3 years, but this real focus switch on marketing for him has really happened over 36 months. And yes, last year, he was in the 900s, okay? Less deals, more money. Okay, is what he did because he stuck to his plan. So he went from the low 3s to the low 9s. So yes, he nearly or just about tripled his average sale price. And his business was more profitable on less deals as he figures out how to even do more deals again at that level. You can figure this all out. But here's the key point. This wasn't about a single medium, because the next thing you know, I open up the mics and all my other mastermind members are, well, what about this postcard? And what about that? No, I said, stop. You're missing the point. This is not about a single medium or an idea or a tactical, what do you do with this medium? Remember, where are they? Market, message, who are they? What do I say to them? And media, upon which medium do I deliver that message that I have something to help them with, right? It's not all about media choices. You don't run over to social, back to direct mail. You don't do these things. You think, if I'm going to go after these people that are in this new area and that are at this new price, what's the best way to get the seller? It's not the same best way to get the buyer. Right? I might make a decision. Hey, you know what? I'm going to keep that IDX site, but I'm going to make sure the advertising that's going through Google pay-per-click is only offering properties for sale at a certain number above. I'm going to get rid of all my distress sale information. That still might be just a simple tweak on the management side that you do as you move from one spot to the next. But on the other side, you look at this whole thing about sellers and you say, well, wait a minute. On the internet, just offering these silly algorithmic guesstimates of value. And I say silly. I'm not trying to hurt anybody like Zillow or somebody like that. I'm just simply saying you're delusional if you think that's nothing, anything more than a starting point. So how do you really get in a conversation with somebody who's deep into thinking about selling their property? Direct mail is a fabulous way to get there. So Lee started to go after conversations through direct mail, as we all do in the mastermind, with expireds, probates, all the things that mattered to him. And guess what happened? People said yes. They said, we like what you have to say. And then all of that shift with marketing had him and the rest of us in the mastermind have to step up. I had to step up so deeply, I started my own website company. More about that in this podcast coming soon. It's called Realty Cast. We actually developed our own website so that we could service those sellers better by giving them better featured property sites, having more control about sharing it, so much good came from this marketing decision 3 years ago that now the businesses are all moving in even a more powerful direction. All right. So let me go back and chunk these bullet points up. Is it possible to triple your average sale? You bet. Do your homework, right? I'm always cautious about sharing testimonials, but I'm telling you Lee's story because I know it perfectly and intimately because we worked together for so long and he's honest and I know his math, right? Next, get that manager's perspective and bring it to a marketing plan. Know where they are, who they are, what you're going to say, and choose the right medium. And that's because the next step there is awareness about where that money is helps you. But then you got to ask yourself, once you find out it's real, why not me? Why not you? You've got to believe that you can do this. And ultimately, have some patience for the process, please. Don't rush this. It's not some quick idea. There's no such thing. All right. Anybody out there looking for the quick fix, you're delusional. Stop. You're hurting yourself and you don't need to. Think about 5 years from now, having wasted all that time chasing a magic pill that doesn't exist, where like, here's a guy that tripled his sale price. Okay. What if I could just help you go up the ladder? It's because you slowed down and you manage it. All right. The key point. Once you become aware of the true benefit of developing a manager's viewpoint, then you'll be able to find where the better business is and work on your why, not me attitude. Hey, remember you can take immediate action and get started in the right direction with our free video course. And all of these mastermind members start there and we pound it away. It's over at freeagentgift.com. It's the what to do framework. We also broadcast our live sales training calls on Facebook and YouTube every Friday at 1 o'clock ET. So remember to turn on your page and channel notifications so you won't miss the reminders and you can join us. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss out on any insights each time we upload an episode. And hey, if you feel like a positive review, I'd appreciate that. We'd also like it if you would appreciate, I'll be okay, if you would share our content with other entrepreneurial real estate agents just like you, because we know they need help. So share it with them too. And hopefully we can lift each other up. And that's a much better way to share. Okay. Hey, thanks for listening. And remember, nobody's coming for you. So go get to work on your business. See you in the next episode.